Hello everybody and welcome to part 2 of Fix the Traffic Nerdshire edition. So I'm back and I have raised up the train tracks all the way around the city. So now we don't have any level crossings, I hope. It could be that I missed some of them, but no, that's raised crossings, so that's good. All of it is raised. Perfect. Yeah. So what I want to do next is a thing that I forgot actually. I wanted to have a train track that passed by this train station. The thing is that I'm not really too sure when we're probably gonna have some problems bringing the tunnel along here. We can bring it here and then we can start bringing it up a little bit, something like that, and then if we're lucky we should bring it up a little bit more, and then with a nice bend there. It looks nice, yeah. And the problem is probably gonna be here because, well, we could not I thought I saw a green spot there, but I think this is gonna be very difficult because we have this raised one here, and I think it's gonna be a little bit too, yeah, I don't think it will cut it. So probably I need to change what I just done, like, oh, and then we have a tunnel, so we're probably just gonna make it a tunnel all the way, and we're gonna make the tunnel from there to there, and then we're going to, I wonder if we should be able to, yeah. Then we can make nice 45 degrees, and then we have a really nice way for trains to enter this station without having go through this cargo station. So that will help us a lot actually. And I thought about doing it at this station here as well, but well, actually it is quite heavily used. This is what I talked about when we moving the traffic. Now this station wasn't used that much at all, but now it's flowing with cars here. So, but it's not too many trains, so I think we leave it for now, and we're going to work directly on the highway at this point, because what we've done so far is not much at all. We haven't increased anything. We just made the situation the same but different basically. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna deal with all these problems. We're gonna deal with these guys entering here. It's quite a lot of traffic in this area. We're gonna solve this a little bit, and but we're gonna start with the first thing, because I want to make this highway a little bigger at some parts, and what's gonna help us the most is the traffic president or traffic manager with these lane switching signs. What you can see here is a quite interesting phenomena. Cars in this game usually like to pass over two lanes directly, stop all the traffic, stand in the middle of the highway to get over two lanes directly, and that's nothing we want, and that's something I'm gonna adjust. Also what I like to adjust is what has been attempted here, or well, was started here I should say, is that you have 1, 2, 3 lanes going forward, and you have one lane going off to the off ramp. And if we control it like that, it's very basic actually. Everywhere where you have gonna see the 4-lane with the sound barrier. Oi, that one wasn't supposed to be, but everywhere where you have 3 or 4 lanes going in, you need 3 or 4 lanes going out as well. So that's the basic logic I'm gonna work after. And this is actually a quite good example of how we can where we can demonstrate it. And also here is a place where we used to need the road anarchy to get this upgrade going. And we probably, I haven't really studied this, but it's probably, you see now we have 4 lanes here, 1 2 3 4 going in, and you have 1 going there, and you have 1 2 3 going here. So that's basically what we're gonna do all over this highway. And the same goes for these crossings. So we're gonna turn off road anarchy so we don't mess something up with it, and we're gonna use the traffic precedent. So what we want to do here, I'm just gonna show you quickly. I'm gonna, well, actually I'm going to make that road hole also, so we have a little bit. Well, and of course we met some problems directly because I wanted to do that. So, but well, we'll fix it directly. So we pause the game so we can take this road away. It was the 4 lane was a little too big to upgrade while that was there, so I have to change them there. So now we take the 3 lane again. I wonder, has he, yeah, 3 lane road, and we want to take it up slow as we can. And I think 1 2 won't cut it. No, it's not possible, but 3 will do the trick. Yeah, so that's good. And we can have I don't know what kind of, how many lanes this road is gonna have later on, but for now it's gonna be a 3 lane road. So there you go, and we have to change that one so that it will. So there you go. And now we have 4 lanes all the way there. It's probably, yeah, but it's, yeah, we're gonna check that later on. But here we go now anyway. We need to make this, it's quite simple to get quite much results out of the traffic manager, especially with this lane switching thing, because if we always have a 3 lane for the ones that want to exit or enter the highway, and we always make them just stay in lane. Well, it's not always just stay in lane in these crossings. Sometimes you have to control the way they because why the developers, probably why they programmed it so they can go across all the highways, switch 2 lanes at the same time. It's because otherwise you had to think much more about how you make your city. And what's happening now when I'm gonna create these rules for them everywhere is that they're gonna get limited options, and you can mess stuff up. But the one thing you can mess up is, for example, here when you have a quite short space, but you have 2 nodes here anyway, they can just change lanes at the nodes. So what's happening is that all the guys that come in this upper lane, if I make the rule so they just can switch 1 lane, it's gonna go down 1 lane here, and it's gonna go down 1 lane here, and then it's gonna be stuck and can't exit here. So what I actually have to do in this crossing here is that this guy, he's always gonna have a 3 lane. And this guy, and this guy, they are also gonna be able to switch down, even though it is an intersection. And only reason, like I said, I doing this is because of the short space to the next off ramp there. So I could do it here as well, but now we have 3 nodes, and it's a 4 lane road, so they can switch down from 1 to 3 if they want to in this space, and that's what I try to achieve. So it's gonna go ahead and do the same here. What I'm telling them is that they can go straight ahead and they can go up one lane or down one lane, but they can't switch two at a time. And this is a really helpful thing for getting a flow on the highway as you want. So yeah, just continue on with this. And this is basically what I'm gonna do all the way over the highway in the central parts. And I think I'm gonna make it bigger probably than I have to in a lot of places, but you're gonna see what happens later on, because what we're gonna do now is we're gonna make a better flow. For example, at these parts we can see still they are stuck here, but what happens now also is that it's a lot of cars that's still programmed for before I made these rules, so they are creating problems for us now. And when we let this simulation run for a little while, we're gonna see that it will eventually be much better. So we can continue on actually for a little while just to show you. So here we now have just 3 lanes going straight ahead, which is the only ones that's going straight ahead, because all these guys are going down here. And what you can see now also, when you're figuring out traffic problem, you can see actually the problems isn't here. The problem is where this starts, and all the way it's backing up, because everybody wants to get off here, and it's so slow. And why is it so slow? Well, to begin with, we have a stop sign here. Which doesn't do us any good at this. What I want to do with this stuff is I'm gonna go around. After I'm done with the highway, I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna change all of this. I'm gonna take away all the street signs, all the in-game rules, because I don't like neither the stop signs or the traffic lights. And I know traffic lights can be good sometimes, but the way I manage my traffic flow is with the priority signs and yeah, I don't know what it's called in English, the väjningsplikt. But I think it's the same. The one have to make way for the road with priority and always leave them, so they have free passage. And that's simply what I do. Maybe it's not the most realistic way to handle the traffic, but this is a game, so I will use the mechanics in the game to my advantage. And there we go. The line is moving a little bit quicker, but it's still a real mess down here. We're gonna see if we can, before I jump into making all of the city, we're gonna see if we can make this a little better directly, because sometimes only thing you have to do is to tell them to go like they want. These guys never have to pass over there, because then they wouldn't have gone down here. So that's one rule we're gonna make for them. All these guys, I'm not too certain that I will allow them to pass over here, so we're gonna try in first. I might have to change this later on, because it can create more problems, but we're gonna check with all the exits and off ramps, on ramps. So we're gonna make all of them turn, and these guys, they can from this lane go also up there, and these guys can go straight ahead. So what we have now is a situation where these guys that going up over, actually, you know what, I'm not really fond of. I think I'm gonna make these intersections, we're gonna try to make them so we don't have any cars passing through here. All of them need to turn, because what I want to do with that, I want to create that on-ramp and off-ramps without the passing through, because I see what the Conflict Nerd has done here. He has a lot of these guys going through the city, so it shouldn't be they shouldn't be forced to, or they shouldn't have to go from this side up because they want to go on this. Now it's gonna be a little bit of problem, because they have to go all around, and they have to go under the city, and they have to go to this side. But as you can see, this intersection, this highway off-ramp, is now completely clear of traffic. We have no problems at these sections at all, and this is basically what I'm gonna start doing. All the highway is gonna be flowing like this, is my plan. And when I'm done with the highway, I'm going to work on the inner parts of the city. So once again, here I go. Yes, so I have managed to get the highway flowing much better. I didn't actually do the rules at all of the highway off-ramps, on-ramps and whatnot, but I made the rules, the lane switching rules I'm speaking about. I set them where I felt it was needed the most, just to increase the flow up here, so we can get something going, you know. And I don't think we have made much progress yet, but you see, we are still at the same, because the only thing you're doing, and that's why it's quite tedious to deal with traffic problems, because you won't see an effect. As long as you have bottlenecks somewhere in the city, you won't see the effect really. Because what's happened now is that all the cars that earlier were standing here on the highway and wasn't able to get in through the city, mainly through this entrance, they are now in the city. So that's gonna be the next problem. But first off, what I really want to do now is I want to create a lot of chaos. I'm gonna go around the city, and I'm gonna remove all of the vanilla in-game traffic lights and stop signs. I'm gonna do that. I might leave stop signs at really small roads. We can start in this area here, and you can see what I'm talking about. So if we zoom in a little bit more, we can exactly now we're gonna was the vanilla ones we're gonna see. It's something I think with the traffic manager and this traffic route thing. It's a bug, so when I go switch between them, this junction tab doesn't always show up. So yeah, we're gonna start here. Oh, this area was really nice. It's just because it's all small roads, but we're gonna make all of this as well. These big intersections is probably some of that we have to go back to. We're gonna see, but for now I'm gonna take away all of it. Here, for example, we could have a stop sign, but I don't want to put a stop sign there, because instead I'm gonna take, if it's needed, I'm gonna set the priority sign instead. Maybe this says what they are called. If we go into the thingy, and no, it doesn't say anything. No, so anyway, you see what I'm talking about. Now the junctions isn't there, so I have to press escape 2 times, and then I go in and the junctions is there. But yeah, so basically we didn't find anywhere here. No signs anywhere. Here we have some stop signs. But I think I'm gonna remove it, all of it. These ones are also the ones that are gonna have priority, because I think it's pretty heavy trafficated. And also one reason why I do this is because when I'm gonna start use the signs from the traffic precedent, you can sometimes mix them up. So you set 2 rules. These stop signs doesn't get removed all the time, or anytime, I don't know for sure, but they don't get removed all the time while you placing, for example, the priority sign and stuff. So that's why you can see cars in intersections where you have taken away set other priorities. You can see them still stopping, and that's because you have the vanilla stop sign in there as well. So yeah, to avoid any confusion and problems with this, I just gonna remove all of it. And like I said, this probably gonna create at least a little bit of chaos. Well, it's gonna create chaos in some parts of the city. So, but you know, before it gets better, it gotta get worse, I think somebody told me. And with this project it's exactly like that. So this is actually this is a part of the game that I would really like to, if somebody could make a mod, just turn off all the vanilla signs and traffic lights, and as well as a mod that could prohibit vehicles from switching 2 lanes at a time. That would help so much, because this is gonna take probably an hour or more, probably a couple of hours, just going through all of the city and turning off all of the signs, just so I can go around it again and setting all of the signs I want. So it's but you know, I love this game, so I shouldn't complain. But if I had something to say about it, it would be that. But then again, I wouldn't have the vanilla game without them, so I guess I'm happy they're there. The only thing I'm saying is that it would be really nice with a mod that handle this in one click. Just shut everything off and deal with it. It could be something in Traffic Manager, I don't know. It would be really good. Here, for example, if there were stop signs here, I wouldn't really bother clicking to get them out, because it's so little traffic from a short road like that. So so that's the only reason. If I'm gonna save some of the lights and stop signs, it's gonna be in a road like that. Not even here, because it's too a big intersection. We want to have flow there as well, and this same with this. So yeah, probably about the moment where it's time to start time lapse again. So here I go. So that's all for today. We've done all of the heavy lifting, so next time we're gonna work specifically on the problem areas. I like to thank everybody that's been watching this, and subscribe and like, and bye bye!